Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the KITZUR HILCHOS SHABBOS, in the laws of malabin and cleaning, laundering clothing on Shabbos, all different variants of how a person could end up transgressing that prohibition. And now he says like this, Yeshev Meichel ala beged. Let's say that food is sitting on your clothing. Hainu shenichlach lecha beged al yidei shenofel alav Meichel. You're eating your Cholent, Shabbos morning by Kiddush, and the spoon is overflowing and not all of it makes it into your mouth, and the next thing you know, you look down on your nice, beautiful, white, crispy shirt and you see a piece of cholent potato and some barley and a bean on your clothing, and it's sitting there. And the same thing that applied above in terms of removing the avak, the dirt, the dust, whatever it might be that's on your clothing to make it look nicer and cleaner, is going to be applied over here as well. If you remove the food and the roshim and the imprint that the food made on your clothing together, so then it's clear that your intention was to clean off your clothing as nice as possible, sharpen it up, so to speak, and make it look nice and clean. So that's mamish, that literally is malabin, that's laundering. You cannot do such a thing. So if and if that which got onto your clothing is moist, is wet, you have to be very careful at the time that you're trying to clean it off. You must be careful not to push down on the clothing at the time that you are removing the dirt, because if you do, maybe you're going to end up doing schita. You're going to squeezing the liquid from that food through your clothing. That's a big problem. When it comes to a dried thing that fell onto your clothing, where it's mutter to remove it and drag it off easily, anything that could be ground up easily could go in tit yavesh, like dried plaster, whatever it is. You don't want to come to techina. That's meaning, so if a cake fell onto your clothing, so the Gemara is saying, the kids are saying over here, you have to be careful not to grind things up when you're removing them from your clothing. So dried bread, dried cake, even though over there that shouldn't be a problem because it already was a ground one. So if another kind of a food that you would have where you'd be grinding it up would be an issue, that would be something that you cannot do. Nevertheless, says the KITZUR, in any case where we allow that you could remove the dirt and the like, you cannot rub the two sides of the clothing together because that will be really cleaning. You cannot use a brush to remove it. You just flick it off, so to speak, with your hand. Or with maybe a little bit of cloth that is not made specifically for cleaning clothing. Nevertheless, when it comes to cleaning off the crumbs on the table, you could use some kind of a crumb brush. Something that was made to remove crumbs from the table on Shabbos, that you'd be allowed to use. On the clothing is malabin, on the table it's not going to be malabin. And included in this, says the KITZUR, is ironing. Because if you iron something, certainly it makes the clothing look so much better. And later he says we're going to get into the malacha or the halacha over here of what it means about cleaning, polishing, and making your shoes look nicer on Shabbos as well. That's going to be a separate malacha, not the issur over here of malabing of laundering. Okay, Mr. Hashem, we're going to get there and have a wonderful day.